Welcome everybody to the Mansfield Buzz.
Welcome to Mansfield Buzz with Jordan and Hurdie. Local business stories, let's dive in early. Jordan asks the questions, brings stories to light. Hurdie runs a tech, keeps production tight. Build trust in a town, discover and explore hidden gems and stores you never heard before. Community connection, that's what we're about. Tune in, join us, see what Mansfield's all about.
All right, welcome everybody. Mansfield Buzz Thursday, 2:00, and this is when Jordan and I take a week off about every 2 or 3 months and kind of dive in with some marketing tips, have some fun, just catch up a little bit, and kind of do our own thing. So that's what we're doing on the Mansfield Buzz today. If you guys are just joining us, we are on YouTube at Mansfield TX Buzz. You can actually go to YouTube and just hit at Mansfield TX Buzz. It takes you straight to the channel. The cool thing is we need you to subscribe. There's a little thumb down under this video on YouTube today. Click it. That'll help the algorithm. If you have to be paying attention, if you're coming on demand, do the same thing. If you want to be on the show, Hurdie at hurdieburk.com is my email. Just send in the heading that you love Jordan and you want to be on the show. And I will tell you right now, we only have we only have December 11th and 18th open. Everything else is booked.
Wow.
Everything is gone till next year. It's starting back on January 8th. So I got a couple people that are interested in that show because it's a holiday. So the cool thing is we'll probably get those booked real soon, Jordan, just so you know. And guys, we're doing really well with the channel. We're happy with it. We're around 216 subscribers now, Jordan, and we're still around 2,000, 1,500 views over 28 days. So we're growing slow but steady but sure. So we are going to talk today, Jordan, about a lot of stuff. But before we get started, we have this cool little section called Icebreakers. And usually we're going to tell you a story about ourselves, but we went ahead and show you our next story. So sit tight and check this out.
Welcome to the Mansfield Buzz.
Oh my goodness, what you can do with marketing stuff, man. Pretty amazing. By the way, Jordan did that in about absolutely, I would say, less than 5-6 minutes.
Let's give them a little bit of explanation.
Yeah, do that. Tell them what we were doing.
Today's episode is going to be all about AI and marketing. So I figured we could start like playing with some tools. A while back, I made a post about Sora 2 going live. Yeah. One of the cool things about Sora is the cameos, which are great. So I sent Hurdie an invitation to Sora, and he set up the cameo. And all it is like, Hurdie, what did you have to do?
I just turned on make my own cameo after I created my account, right? And it asked me to read some numbers off, asked me to turn my head left and right, to get a feel for me. And then, of course, what you saw right here, hang on.
Welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. Oh, I love how I pulled the sunglasses on my glasses. Classic AI. But the cool thing about it is really all you do is you read, like for mine, and we both did it today. So if you notice, we're wearing the shirts we have on.
Yeah, I mean, I literally did it in less than 3 minutes. I tagged you on it so you could get mine, right? Because you have the ability to tell people, you can share to a group, to everybody, to sync certain people. I sent it to Jordan. Jordan threw it together real quick. And so that's how we did it. Really cool. Yeah. So anybody do it. I would say if you got OpenAI and you already have your $20 account, just go ahead and use that login and go download the Sora app. You
Yeah.
know, Android or Apple, it works really cool, and you're seeing a lot of that. I've seen some people fooled already with it. So you know, I don't think bears come to your front porch and give you a break, okay? But that's beside the point.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. And the cool thing about that is, I when Hurdie set up the account, I went into the prompting section, and I
Yep.
just tagged him, and I told her that I had to put Hurdie's cameo, which is his Hurdie. Mine is Mercurius, and it's like, have Mercurius and Hurdie together in a cinematic intro, walking in slow motion, and
Like
it
this.
pulled up.
Like this.
Welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. Oh my god!
Like that.
That was the yeah, but you know, you're able to just prompt that, and so I'm going to be making our new Mansfield Buzz intro using that, so I can get some shots and just leveraging AI. As I mean, all our intro songs are done with AI. You know, we don't have the budget to hire a music house to compose us an intro, let alone 3 of them so far. But using AI, we've been able to do some really cool stuff. And now that video is getting to a point where, you know, these cameras are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a pretty darn good job considering, you know, of course, technology's come a long ways on this camera stuff. Couldn't do this 5 years ago. Literally,
Yeah.
really, you couldn't, you know. So, but anyhow, to move right along, hang on one sec because the next one is our kind of our. Let me lead into this a little bit. Jordan's been doing some fun stuff over at Play Park, and so he's going to show you a little bit of behind the scenes in this one on one of our clients. Well, Play Park MTX. Doug has been on the show, so let's do this real quick.
Rewind, keep it tight. Highlights prime to ignite. Catch the vibe, feel the rush. Previously on the Mansfield Buzz.
Are you still? But you can't just trust anyone with your kids. But you can trust us here at Play Park.
Now, just to show you, that was behind the scenes, but let's go ahead and play this, Doug, because this is part of what we can do with not AI stuff, but regular film, right, and marketing. Let's show you the end result of what that looks like, where he's fallen, Jordan's fallen, and it's a trust factor. So hang on one sec.
You can't just trust anyone with your kids, but you can trust us here at Play Park MTX.
all for 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yes, but attention's at a premium tonight.
But it does exactly what it's supposed to do, right? I mean, it gets to the point. It says you trust your kids at our park, but the way you exaggerated that was by acting like he's going to catch you and falling backwards, and then say we don't trust him, but we trust trust your kids, right? So that's pretty good. Very good, buddy.
Another one I want to point out too is the one when I'm pegging Doug in the face with a ball.
Here, yeah, I'll do it. Hang on.
The principle behind this is called an attention hook. So you'll see
what
we're doing there to like package the message.
So here it comes.
Are you still waiting for that ball to hit me? I'm waiting for you to lock in your membership pricing for the next 3 years on Black Friday. Are you still waiting?
Very good, my friend. Very good. Yeah. So you know, marketing, buddy. The thing that and we'll get into some of our questions here in a minute, but the thing that strikes me with this is just really how much fun you can have now with all these tools. That it was pretty basic stuff not long ago, right? And you really had to know what you were doing. You know, if you said you're a videographer, you mean you need to be a videographer. If you said you're a photographer, but nowadays, you know, you can take a couple snapshots, upload it to
Mhm.
certain AI programs, and look like a hero. But
Yeah.
you still have to have the creative juices behind it to get the message across, and that's where the marketing comes in.
Yeah.
So
And the thing is, before you were a videographer, photographer, like when it comes to all these outlets, but now you just got to be a storyteller.
yeah, yeah, and we're going to talk about that today because I think that you know, I kind of put on the title of this, Jordan, today. Let me just show it. How does small business have a big advantage, right?
Hmm.
And we're going to talk about several things in that arena. And I don't really know how we want to start this show because me and you both probably have so much knowledge between us. One of us could probably talk for an hour and never be quiet, right?
Yeah.
So just because we do this all the time. But how do we want to start this? Do we want to talk about what how do you want to address this today? Because I'm full of knowledge, you're full of knowledge. How do we want to break it
We
down?
put it down. I think let's just kind of give an overview of what the space is
Okay. All right.
and then what these new tools can do, and then we can dive into specific messages, specific
Sure.
action items and tools.
Sure. Perfect. Okay. So let's start with the question here. So just an overall helicopter view, you know, that 50,000 or well, no, a helicopter. Let's go way up. Let's do that 50,000 look down view. Um, what how does small business have and let's make this broad, we'll drill down. How does small business have some advantages today that say it didn't have yesterday?
Yeah. There's a ton of them. So, which one do we start with? But I think the biggest one, like hands down, is the access to information. Right now with LLMs have indexed the internet. It's a huge database of knowledge that you can talk to. So you really have access to experts that previously could cost you, I mean, I don't know, but like whatever a McKinsey consultancy is, and all
Yeah.
these like really, really expensive people with like particular knowledge, you have access to that now for free. A lot of these tools are free. You can, some of them are, you can pay $20 a month, $100 a month, $300 a month. But even then, like that is nothing compared to what you had to pay before. So a big advantage is the access to information, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and to go on a little bit further, I would say not only the access to it, but the creative side to it, right?
Mhm.
So, meaning that a person without a whole lot of technical skill, technically following prompts and following instructions on some of these apps and some of these tools can literally be creative within their own self, right? Which is not easy to do. There's some more difficult than that, but the fact that you don't have to do a whole lot,
Mhm.
adding effects like we did on ours, you know, all I did was get my headshot and it put together the rest of that for us. So I would
Mhm.
say it's also faster. Um, it's the speed is what 10 times 100 times more than it used to be from a creative standpoint, so content itself can be created a little bit faster too, so I kind of like that. So
Yeah, speed of
and, I,
execution is
and it's really there, and the ability to put this in different places is really cool. Um so that's kind of the helicopter view.
yeah.
We'll
But
dive
let's
in.
go into let's keep the format. So that's kind of like the overview thing, but let's go into specifics, right?
All right, got it, go.
Because great, we have the information, but how can small businesses use that? So we mentioned the production tools and the information.
Right.
So now it's it lowers the barrier of entry significantly. One of the things that I think is can be a little bit of a trap, let's say, with AI, is that people will jump into AI and create some, like, for example, on the production side, they'll create some videos that are pretty funny, catchy, pretty exaggerated, and
Like ours.
it's yeah, exactly, and it's awesome. And you see some really funny stuff. I saw one where a cat was shooting a shotgun on a door. It's this tiny cat that's holding a shotgun and shots it, and then the owner walks out, is like, "Are you serious? Are you out of your mind? What are you thinking?" And tries to wrestle this shotgun from the cat. And the cat, and this is a doorbell camera. This is a Ring camera that's capturing
Right.
it. And it's trying to take this like thing from the cat, and finally gets it and grabs the cat. It's like, "Come on, get inside." Hilarious. Like, oh my God, it's so funny. Thing went viral. It was all over TikTok and Instagram. And there is a temptation to do stuff like that. But the thing is, the access of information is so important because you should have a strategy in place. So the stuff that you're using AI to create actually makes you money. And that's one of the things that I think access to information is so important, because if you're not a marketing expert, or if you're not a legal expert, or whatever you like lacking the expertise on, you can do a pretty quick overview of what you're looking at and then have a little better direction. So if you're creating content just for the sake of content, it's not really going to move the needle. And you might not know that, but if you spend a little bit of time with these tools and be like, hey, my business is like, for example, Play Park, right? I talk, like my target audience is moms. That's the client that I'm looking to serve. Then do something that fits into that. What is something, or ask, what are those some things that fit on that with that audience? That kind of information will give you a lot better direction. And then hop on AI and do something crazy.
Yeah, and I think one of the drawbacks is that me and you have talked about this when we're looking over different stuff, and that is the noise factor. And by that we mean that it's nice to see people being creative and funny and putting up, but you have to distinguish between noise and actual strategy, right? For those accounts. So yeah, have fun, but realize that not everything you do needs to be directed that way. You need to have real, tangible content that actually is going to reach out and grab a potential client, right? And get them in mentioned, or get them in part of your influence, or get them in as a lead, then get them as a client. So, that's the strategy thing. And Jordan, how many times, no matter what tools you use in AI, right? How much do we talk about strategy?
Oh God, yeah, like it comes over and over again.
Yeah, and how many clients, and just going to be up front here because we're talking to people who are going to watch this, is that once you give a client a strategy, the most frustrating part for marketers is that the strategy does not get carried out.
Yeah.
In the social arena or whatever marketing arenas that's working best for your business. And I think we probably need to talk about some of the ways we can work around LLMs too, because not every one of us are going to get in the AI overviews. Okay, we might get a small list. We'll talk about that. But man, this idea of strategy, and by the way, the AI tools for creating strategy, by going to Answer to the Public or these different places, you can put together a pretty comprehensive strategy for a small business clients locally, based on doing your research, right, and finding out what people are looking for.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? How do we know what people are looking for? Because that's your arena.
Yeah. How do you know what people are looking for? That is a great question. And it comes down to, do you know your business? Who are you serving? Do you know that? If you don't know who you're serving, like if you ask yourself the question, who is my ideal customer? And if your answer is everybody, then it's nobody.
then it's nobody. That's right.
Exactly. So, and speaking of AI, that is a big advantage that you can have is just have it
Drill it,
help you figure that out. You know,
drill it down. Yeah,
yeah,
agreed. Yeah,
because you might not like I mean, there might be a few problems. You've been on business for a while, but you haven't really tracked this information. So you probably have a better idea of who you're serving, but you're not too clear. You can use AI tools to help you narrow that down. Then if you're just starting a new business and you don't know who it is, then you're in a space where you're just doing a like active market study. You are conducting business, you're trying to figure out what's your niche, right? Like you're in the act of finding it. But that too, like have AI help you with that.
yeah,
Have it ask you questions.
yeah. I asked today for a client in this local area, what things are the public asking to find this type of business? Guess
Mhm.
what? I got some fantastic items to work on with that client on their blog because they were
Mhm.
exactly what people would be searching for if they were looking for this type of service. Okay. But I'm going to back up to your everybody, nobody. All right. You
Yeah.
ready? So let's take an HVAC company where every business and rooftop in Texas, if they're smart, has an AC unit.
Yeah.
So an HVAC guy comes in and says, Jordan, I need your marketing help. I'm HVAC, so everybody's my customer. And Jordan goes, what?
That is not an answer. Everybody is not part of the choices you can make.
Right. So in that case, the HVAC guy's right that everybody has AC. He's right that everybody is a potential customer, but that is never going to gain him business if he's trying to market to everybody, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm giving you that example. What would be his next step if you were sitting in front of him? What would you
Mhm.
be trying to investigate from him? His niche? How would you approach that?
Oh yeah, I would look. Well, I always go at it from a very practical and tactical
Yep.
perspective. I'm assuming this is an HVAC company that's been around for a little while. So
Yep.
I would look at a few things. One is which client. Let's figure out which clients make you the most revenue, because that is what is largely keeping your business afloat. That is the most logical place to focus. And which are the clients that take you the least amount of effort to attract? Those are two like very no nonsense, like tactical ways to look at it.
Sure.
And then I would contrast that with the why of the business. Why did you start this business? Like, why does this business exist? And just really pull down to the beginning of it. Like, what is its true purpose? Yes, it is to fix HVACs, but typically there is a founding principle. You're not agreeing with the way things were done before. You're coming from another company that was cutting some corners that you did not appreciate. You're there to do a service in the best way possible. You've noticed some things that need to be improved in the industry that you're like taking it upon yourself to do. I'm thinking of, like, for example, core for contractors. On our interview with them, Brandon mentioned how he believes in the certification process and is really a big proponent of it because he's seen so much of the roofing work being just done incorrectly and bad
Exactly.
practices of install voiding warranties. He is really big on that. So he spends a lot of his time and energy and resources into addressing that point. That's a big why. All right. So then that lets you know who you're targeting, because you want people that care about that, not somebody that wants the cheapest roof possible. With an HVAC company too, you want somebody who's going to resonate with those values. Let's say maybe this HVAC company believes in doing in setting on things properly for clients to reduce the energy consumption, and wants to make the best recommendation for that, not necessarily the most profitable. That's a stance that people that actually want to look for that will go out of their way to work with you. It's like, I really want to get a smart system. Or maybe like what you really care about is finding the most like environmentally friendly approach. Maybe that's really important to you. There's people that really want that balance with technology and the environment. They really want to protect this planet and are not afraid to make the investment to protect that. If that's the case, then that's your kind. If that's the language that you use, people are like, "Oh, that's my person." I was talking earlier today with Tyler, a mutual friend of ours,
Right.
and I was talking a big part of my why is I work with Fortune 500 companies. I made them a ton of money. And the problem that I found is these companies don't contribute to the local economy. They actually drain resources. And I came to realize that they take money away from your local community and they just take it to the corporate level, to the shareholders. So it gets like redistributed. It's really
Yeah.
just pulling it out, right? So it's like an oil well pulling out the oil. And like I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. Got it.
I'm a big believer in business. And I'm a big believer in local business because it strengthens the community. If we
Right.
have a lot of really profitable, well-doing local businesses here, that's going to give you better infrastructure. It's going to give you better community. It's going to have more jobs. If we have a really profitable Fortune 500 company that sells like shorts of every color that are made in China, that's not going to impact us nearly as much.
Right. Exactly.
Mansfield is not going to see a dime of that.
Right. Bingo. I like that. And I was also going to say, go back to the HPIC illustration that,
Mhm.
you can determine some things that other people are doing that are pretty noisy, right? Like everybody brags about doing their tune-up, right? But why not figure out a niche within that tune-up, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you figure out a niche within a maintenance agreement ongoing for that business, right? Or
Yeah.
that rooftop, right? So there's things you can build that cater to a certain group of people, especially
Oh,
locally. So
yes.
yeah, I'm with you totally on that, right?
Mhm.
So I think do you agree with today that most of the businesses that we both work with, have you found that the real truth is to find a niche? I know there's some broad products that people sell. I
Mhm.
understand that, but within the overall umbrella,
Mhm.
finding a niche marketing, finding a niche way to put yourself in front of the public, right?
Yeah, you know, I think maybe like a little bit of the problem is the word niche or niche is loosely defined, so I don't think people actually understand.
Okay.
I think maybe some of the holdback is people think that I need to find people that like people that are what was that I was listening. People think that you need to be find your niche where you find comedians that like cats.
Yeah, no.
Like
Yeah,
that's the space you need
no,
to be in.
no, 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 not that way. Yeah,
And
but yeah, see what you're saying.
and it does not have to be that narrow,
No.
but it cannot be too wide. And the reason why is we need to understand that we're small businesses and we need to understand the limitation of our budgets. And it might not be a sexy answer, but it's a very honest answer. You got
Right.
to understand the limitation of your budget. The reason you go with a niche is because you cannot afford to market to the whole market. You just can't.
Yeah.
So, got to figure out who are your ideal customers and spend your money that way because there's no way on earth you're going to be able to market to everybody effectively.
Yeah. You'd be broke.
Yeah. I mean, I ran campaigns for Old Navy who, sells everything apparel wise, like from clothing for the dog, for the kid, for the mom, for the dad, for the teenager, for the toddler, like you name it, and pajamas on top of that. Right. So it is everything, and they can afford to market to everybody.
Right.
And I mean, these people spend millions of dollars a year, like hundreds of millions, and they can't do that. So if it's cost prohibitive for them, what makes you think you can do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Just to give you an example for those listening to me first time, my niche is Google business profiles and YouTube, and it's very self-explanatory. I'm looking for the client that's involved with both those and needs some extra help or additional help or wants to get started on one of those two and really work it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And
perfect.
mine is medium-sized businesses that have they need to update their marketing technology
Yeah.
because I have the full stack of tools that we used at the Fortune 500 levels that I quite literally Robin Hooded out of there.
Yeah.
Brought it to the
And brought them over. Yeah.
medium-sized business, and I can make your entire marketing team function like you had a Fortune 500 company, but
Right.
but you're just a medium-sized business.
So let's kind of dive into the LLM thing, but let's look at it from and by that I mean large language platforms, right? And
Yeah.
the way we talk to these AI tools, and that is on social. What social platforms are important, but before I get into the question for you is I was reading an article today, you know me, Mr. Research, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of people think that being on one video platform is all you need.
Mhm.
And I tell people that once you have a strategy, right? There's TikTok, there's Facebook Reels, there's YouTube, there's LinkedIn. The idea is that they're not all the same thing. They reach totally different audiences.
Mhm.
So what works on TikTok may not work on YouTube, and what definitely is on YouTube is probably not going to work on TikTok, and Reels is probably somewhere in between that because of Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So that is an example. So I'm going to ask you because you handle more of the overall social media. I don't dive in past my Google stuff, right?
Mhm.
So what makes social platforms more important, say now, than say even yesterday?
Yeah. What makes it more important now to, like, let's say, well, I mean, it's 2025, at the end of 2025, let's say the beginning of 2023, like just 2 years. Like,
Yeah,
in 2 years, the entire marketing game has changed.
yeah,
Um, the simple answer and the really blunt one is because your Google ad leads are drying up. That's why it's more important. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of whys to that statement, but put it
I-
bluntly,
I'm gonna
social
and
is
I'm
important.
gonna get a little bit more blunt before you keep going. So hang on a
Okay.
sec. It's expensive to buy high impact keywords that are going to have a low impact for your business,
Mhm.
especially if those keywords are very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another aspect of that. Speaking of those keywords, that I think business owners should understand, and this is what I'm stealing from the corporate world. When it comes to keywords, you're competing against your competitors in a financial race. So who's
Exactly.
going to win? You're buying keywords that show intent. What does intent
Right.
mean? Intent means somebody is looking to buy. So you buy keywords that let you know that somebody's looking to buy something. Because before, when you were looking to buy something, you type in the keywords on Google because you're looking for a service provider, whether it's a service or a product or product to purchase. So you are trying to catch that traffic while it's coming hot.
Right.
Now, I want that traffic, you want that traffic, your other competitor wants that traffic. So everybody bids, and the business goes to the highest bidder. So the
Right.
more bids you get, the more the price goes up. So if you're in a competitive keyword, let's say plumbing or
Ooh.
HVAC,
Oh, one of those two are
AC
both
repair,
high.
AC repair, AC repair near me, like, good luck. That's going to be really expensive. And the thing is, what's going to set you apart there is going to be who spends the most money, who's going to get that business. And the problem here too is when you're dealing at the local and small business level, you're going to get some businesses that don't know how to advertise on Google intelligently. They don't have their numbers figured out, and they're going to overpay for
All the
that lead.
time.
Yeah. And if you
All
overpay for
the
that,
time.
yeah. And if you overpay, you didn't make many money. If you're the business that overpaid for it, you didn't make any money because you lost, like, you're paying way more than you should. You should never pay more than a quarter of your lifetime value of a customer to acquire that customer. A lot of
That's
people
right.
don't know that.
Yeah.
If you go over that, you're overpaying for that lead, but you just made it expensive for everybody else. And you outbid the people that knew what that lead was worth. And the only person that made money was Google.
Right. Yeah. And I would say that it goes back to when you're talking about social platforms, just to go the next level further, right? Keep pushing you down this road here. That is that some of this stuff that you run ads for can be done today on AI in very creative ways that'll
Yeah.
get more mentions and more visibility.
That's
And
what
I know those are the two key words, mentions and visibility, because I don't think most of us are ever going to be at the high end AI overviews unless we become famous, right? And something's been up there a very long time that's well ingrained, right? But boy, if you can get mentions, if you can get visibility, and you can create the kind of content that really is strategy for each of these platforms you're on, where your audience is, you'll do really well.
Yeah. And one of the thought exercises that I can, have everybody go through is, imagine in the Google AdWords space, you're going after that keyword. It's a competition who can get that keyword. Who you are does not matter at that point. It's just who's given the most money gets, pushed up there. Now, everybody can bid on that keyword, and it goes to the highest bidder. Now let's go to social. You can target your audience, which, let's say you're targeting homeowners that, I don't know, live in the Mansfield area. Everybody can also target that, or maybe let's say with small businesses in the Mansfield area, or maybe even in a industrial area. Everybody can target that. There's no, it's just like in Google, everybody can go for it. But the difference there is the content that you put out there is going to dictate who wins.
Right.
It's not going to be whoever paid the most money. It's going to be whoever put out the best content.
Right.
That strategy, the creative execution, the clarity of your message, the value of the trustworthy message that you put out there, like all those things matter. And it actually comes into play. So that's how you can actually beat out and outperform ads placed by giant corporations with really big pockets. But they're going to see your content like, hey, I know that guy. He's, local Mansfield. Let's say you're talking about your service, and you make sure that in your background, you're in the Mansfield section. You see some like landmarks. You can talk about the fact that you're local, that, like, things like that matter, especially now more than ever. So because of that, you're not in a just, I'm going to spend more money to try to get the business. You're in a, like, I'm going to provide value and show my value, show my worth, so I can get that business. And in the social space, you can do that. When you're just doing it through keyword marketing, you don't have that luxury.
And I would even say that keyword marketing, at least from what I've been reading, is disappearing. That brain's been moved from, as you described it, the zombie, over to another part of the arena over here, right? So that it becomes this personalization, conversation, storytelling, but with a meaningful purpose to it. So, and that was the whole point, is that search was always now what I almost call Neanderthal, because you look back at that now with what as little as 2 years ago, and you laugh that we've always searched by going to a directory and getting a list of directory things to click on to figure out what we need. Now at our fingertips, we can basically go in and ask this large language model to help supply us with this, and this. And so now we've got all this kind of cool content, stories, conversations, and things to put out there in front of people that make more sense.
Yeah.
It's conversational, It's really cool.
Yes. So I want to address
my favorite subject,
the noise. And talking about, because what you mentioned is the new way people are looking for information, because it's more natural, right? You look for information.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you ever heard the expression, they said a lot in marketing, but the customer never knows what they want.
Yeah.
And it's actually really true, because a lot of the times you have a problem, but you don't necessarily know what the solution is. And I know you and I talked about this off the air, and it's worth bringing up. Like, you and I have both bought shoes down the same path. I hurt my calf doing high intensity training, which is fast, low, and doing a lot of jumping. and I hurt my foot. And I'm like, man, what happened? So I asked ChatGPT, why did I get hurt? Because I stay active, I stretch. I'm not careless about it. So what happened here? And it first asked me a few questions. Is like, you're generally active? Yes. Are you taking your supplements? Yes. Do you take collagen and vitamin C?
Right.
Like, it asked me like the whole gamut. Is like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like what does your gear look like? I'm like, well, I work with like tennis shoes, shorts, a tank top. And it's like, what kind of shoes are you working out with? Running shoes? It asked me that specifically. I'm like, yes, actually. It's a pair of running shoes I got from Kohan. They're super comfortable. They're super cushiony. And it's like, there's your problem. I'm like, why? And it's like, well, running shoes are designed to absorb impact and give you traction forwards and back, but really just forwards, because you run forwards.
Right.
They don't have a lot of lateral support, and they're not designed for jumping. You are jumping from side to side, something that the shoe is literally not designed to do. So you're losing energy. And then it went to explain to me, you're losing energy. It's fatiguing your muscles. In this case, it's probably fatiguing some muscles faster than another. And then it's making your calf overwork. So then it sent me down this whole rabbit hole about return energy on shoes. I'm like, okay. So it just gave me this whole history of things. And then it started talking about shoes that are actually designed for that. I'm like, oh, cool. And then it suggested a bunch of shoes that could do that. But then it suggested shoes that haven't been available for like 4 or 5 years. But they have the best cover. So that's what it indexed first. It's like, these shoes are great. I'm like, awesome. I cannot pick up a pair of these for less than $400 because nobody's made them for the past year.
Right.
So thanks. They are apparently legendary, but I'm not buying a collector's item to go do, high intensity training at the gym.
Right. Gotcha.
Give me something that is on the market now. And it just gave me different ones. I ended up buying some Nike Nike Freeze Metcons, I think. I'm like, great, awesome. I clicked on the link. I went to the Nike site and bought them.
Yep.
It solved all my questions, and then it gave me a product. Like, I didn't know what I wanted. I heard my calf. I wasn't even looking for shoes.
Right. So it stair-stepped you down to what it figured you needed. That's awesome.
Yeah. But you know what moved my decision was it cited research, and then it pointed out some influencers who I actually trust, and it sent me to their blogs. Then I went to their website, I read what they wrote about it. Then when I was looking for recommendations, it shot me to other influencers, and it pulled out some it even mentioned some it even brought up some Twitter, X, and some blogs that I went to read. And then I found some people that I trust. I'm like, okay, you agree with this take. And then that prompted me. So the LLM gave me the information. Then I went to see the content of these, influencers. And actually one of the blogs got an affiliated sale, because I was like, oh, cool. And I clicked on their affiliate link to the Nike website, picked up the shoe. So one of those affiliates ended up actually making some money from an affiliate sale.
Some money from that. Right. Cool. Yeah, I like that. So
now what I was going to ask you with the wasted noise is,
yes,
we have the ability to try to game search now, because we can use LLMs to just crank out a ton of content.
Correct.
How much is that is noise?
My easy definition or answer to that is it's noise if it's not doing what it's designed to do, and that is to get mentions, gain visibility, and lead people down. Of course, I don't believe much in that sales funnel anymore, but to get them into the fold so you have a chance to work with them. To me, anything in it, that's noise. And that noise can be in forms of bad writing, videos that make no sense, meaning that they're fun, but they don't have anything to do with your business.
Yeah.
Right. They think they do, but they don't. Right. It could even show them in a business environment, but if it's not teaching something, or if it's not giving you something worthwhile, somebody may giggle at it, but they're not going to come back if they're looking for a certain thing and that video comes up and doesn't give them any information. So that's my definition of noise. It's got to be within the strategy, or it is noise.
Now, here's a good tip for avoiding the noise creation and instead leverage the things that work. AI is a really, really powerful tool. And one of the things that AI has allowed us to do is repurpose content, right? So we talked about you need a strategy, and you really do, because whatever you make needs to take people from a point of not knowing that you're the solution to the point of knowing you're the solution. Getting that down is difficult.
Yeah.
It takes time, it takes effort. But
That's the hard part.
Yeah. Once you've done that, you have the winning formula. It doesn't take a lot of work to turn that to well, it's going to take a lot of work to turn that into a video. But once you do that, it doesn't take a lot of work to take that and turn it into shorts. Turn it into a blog that actually delivers value because you're answering a legitimate question. Turn it into an email that you send to your customers, to a carousel post that you put on LinkedIn, right? Like you can turn that one, concept, let's call it, and change its output. And now you can be on LinkedIn. Now you can be on Instagram and Facebook. You can be, you can add a little over the top AI, and then you could just fine tune it for TikTok. You can be on YouTube. Like you could really start hitting the gamut with your fully formed ideas that deliver value. And then you can actually adapt it, and LLMs can give you the structure, and then the AI tools can help you with the implementation.
All right. So Jordan, I'm gonna give you an example of that. It's what you just described. And I'm gonna use a tool on AI. Okay. So I take my phone out, which you've always recommended, and I record a message. I upload that audio file to my Notebook LM, a Google product. It summarizes it. I ask that Notebook LM then to give me a workflow or some sort of study guide that I can write a transcript off of as a blog. And I turn right around over Notebook LM now, and I say, would you create me a short video of this question and this answer? And boom. And by the way, I just put one up on my Facebook Business Support Center, but on Hurdie Burk Consulting. You can go look at the one Jordan I pulled from our last broadcast talking about zombie search. All created by Notebook LM, which makes total fantastic sense. And it describes Jordan's concept in 4 boxes. Record on a phone, transcribe, create, write, and create a short video. And if you know what your market is, Jordan, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. You can
that is not noise. That is the real deal, because that is actually what people are searching for. They're searching for answers to questions. They're searching for information. I wonder, one thing I need to learn, and you probably know this from doing some measurement stuff, is I'm trying to dig into how many basic times I wonder on an LM search somebody searches before they actually end up choosing one of those choices that they bumped into doing that search, whether it's Chat GPT or Gemini. It'd be interesting to see what kind of stats come out down the road on that, since we're so new. But my point is, yeah, you're right. And you know what? It's that simple. And you know what it says on that video? If you say you don't have time, you have no excuse.
Yes. Yeah. It's so easy to come up with content now. We have so many tools. The biggest holdback is fear, quite frankly. We're afraid to say the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Sometimes saying the wrong thing is perfect because it gets a lot of attention. Just like this podcast will. No, I'm kidding. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you a little bit of noise for you. It just came in late. So sit tight.
Welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. Yep, that is noise for sure.
But that's fun noise, and we would not market with that. We think it's kind of cool just to put on the show for fun. But
And
Yeah.
it's an
So
example where you can do with AI, right? So
yeah,
that is
yeah,
noise and it's silly, but you've seen the show evolve as AI has rolled out, right?
it
Now
is
we
exactly
started with
right.
stock music, now we have custom music. We're getting all this
Yep.
new rollouts. We have a really fancy shorts package that we can make out of this. That the only reason we're able to afford it so cheap is because we have AI powering our editing process.
Yeah.
Now we're going to start leveraging Sora because it's starting to get there. We're going to start making our intro sequences with AI because uh, one of the biggest holdback for some of the content we want to do for our intros and promos is that Hurdie and I just don't have time to get together and record.
No,
We have the cameras, we have the lights, we have the full professional gear.
we're like
We just,
this.
how
Crossing
long
in the
have we been
dark.
planning to get together and literally just walk down the street
We
so we
got
can
to do
record it?
that. We got to
And
do that.
and we just have not had time for that. And now we just did it in 3 minutes
3 minutes. Yeah.
with Sora. And yeah, it's AI, but like it's surprisingly close.
Yeah. Now I'm going to go down another road on marketing because I want to tell people that there are certain things you can still do. And I'm going to go back to the future, so to speak. Yes, that was a movie I love. And that is
I got one of those over here.
email list databases. Databases where you get business cards from potential clients, put them in a CRM, actually learn how to drip market to a direct market. And yes, the social becomes one aspect of importance, but so does your direct marketing, right?
What's a drip marketing campaign?
For me, it's like about an 8-point system, right? I'll just tell you what it is. I get a card like this from a customer, which I'm putting them in today. I'm not going to identify them. I just put this in. I put it in my CRM.
And what's a CRM?
A CRM is a content management system. Mine happens to be HubSpot, but there's tons of them. And I think Jordan's even building one. He'll probably share that down the road, but I think Jordan's even trying to work with them through clients. But the bottom line is it's a place where I can put in a contact information. I can email from it. I can put notes in it. I can calendar follow-ups. And so here's how that works. I put the card in, name, contact information. I met that person yesterday. 4 days from now, I'm going to send an email that says, nice to meet you. I'm not going to say anything else. Nice to meet you. And I'm going to have all my contact information on there and see if I get any response or not. If I don't get a response, then a week from now, I'll say, hey, we met at Mansfield Network Group. And one of the things I like to do is sit down and meet folks one-to-one, see how I can help them, and I send it out. Usually on that one, I finally get a response, and then it takes me down another road. When would you like to meet? Where would you like to meet? And then we talk, and then we go from there. And then everything becomes a follow-up with notes and follow-up and emails, so I track everything. So my point is, I don't have to worry all the time about content if I'm direct marketing, except to show them that I'm real on it and I know what I'm doing, right? From proof of customers and referrals and reputation and all that stuff. That is another way to market direct to people. You can't go wrong. So Jordan could probably sit down and really develop you a great email campaign for social if you needed it, and even show you how to capture all that so you could start working on that. So that's what I consider.
Yeah. And I can fill in a little bit of that on how it ties into social because again, we talked about strategy, right? And
right.
Not all social is created equal. When you do the right type of creative to communicate the right kind of value, what you're doing is you're letting people know why you're the right choice, and you're seeding the way for them to go to you when they need a problem addressed or that you have a product that they want. If you do this correctly, you're sending people to your web page or you're capturing information for to market to them. So to create those email lists, what you do is you and you've probably seen this when the people are like, hey, comment Yeah, comment, I don't know, bling in the comments if you want this list, or they'll put something out
Sure.
of interest to you, and they'll ask for your information in exchange. You get whatever that download or whatever experience they're looking for. Sometimes it's just a promo code, and then you're in the system, and then you get more communications from them. It's a very natural process, and that's how you begin the whole journey. And then once you have that communication, then you can engage with them on email. Or one thing that I found really effective, not for all businesses, but if you're the right kind of business, text message
Yeah.
is incredibly effective.
Yeah. I think that that's a preference, but I do agree that people read text messages before they'll open an email all the time because of the amount of email unsubscribed people get that didn't subscribe to them. So you got to be careful there, right?
And
I
always
will
give
tell you,
value.
education's huge today, Jordan. People offering webinars to trade out and give tips, to get an email address is huge right now. A lot of the
Yeah.
big companies are doing that. So
To get
anyhow,
a real one, to get a real
yeah,
email address, because you will
yeah.
always get the dump email.
Oh, no, yeah. They require a business address, right? That usually eliminates the noise, so to speak. So yeah, so to me, I just think that if you're gonna be noisy, right, be noisy for the right reasons.
Oh yeah, and make sure that the noise is piping into your business.
So I spelled this wrong, so let me correct this real quick and edit this. Tool is not spelled Toole. It's spelled without an E, Hurdie. So go ahead and edit that. Save it. Hang on a sec. All right. So Jordan, kind of wrap up a little bit here, or we can keep going. What AI tool do you like, or do we like? What do you like?
I like the LLMs a lot in large language model. That's your ChatGPT, your Claudes.
Gemini,
I'll tell
stuff like
you
that.
what, but I like them for different reasons. ChatGPT is the most popular one. One of the things I like about ChatGPT is the ability to create custom GPTs. Projects and custom GPTs are super useful to me, especially
What do you,
because when I
back
deal
up. What do you mean by that? Because a lot of people may not understand what you mean by custom
okay,
GPTs. What are you
you
talking
can
about?
you can program ChatGPT to behave in a specific way with specific knowledge that you give it. So for clients, I will create custom GPTs to be writers. So I'll make them a copywriter. And I do this by what part of my process is creating a brand interview. Yeah, hang on, let me close the door because that is really loud.
That's okay. I love it. Camera's following you. Be careful.
It is showing you all my mess here.
No, it's great. No big deal.
So the ChatGPT, when I give my clients brand strategy, it's a document, and I use it as a training document. And then I use content examples and best practices, and I put all that together in a custom set of instructions where I tell ChatGPT, look at the brand strategy, act and behave and speak like it. Here's a good content strategy. Think in these parameters, and these are certain rules that I want you to use, like don't override, consider character maximum. I will tune them per channel, right? So you can only use 2 lines on Facebook and Instagram before it does the add more. So make sure the most important part of the conversation is there. Additional information is what they call below the fold. That is awesome because I have to create a copywriter once, and then it creates copy for my clients as long as I need. I just like, hey, I got a post now that is about, Black Friday sale. Write me the copy for this sale. And it already knows how to optimize for social. So it just takes care of it. I look at it and I just tweak it so it sounds like a person and not a robot. But all I'm doing is tweaking. I'm not writing from scratch.
Right. And you get to go back in and fine tune it to make it more humanized, right? But you're getting a lot of time saved. You're getting a very specific prompt for the setup that a customer can just basically go in and say, do this, and it's already set up, right? So so prompting is an art.
It is.
It's a skill.
But keep in mind, you can ask ChatGPT to create the prompt for ChatGPT.
Right.
Like, that's allowed.
That's the beauty of it. But a lot of people consider prompting that are new to it is just typing in and looking for information. What
Hmm.
you're talking about is the ability to customize a chat GPT
Yeah.
prompt for a very
Yeah.
specific use, right?
And it's part of the paid feature, and it's an advanced mode. So
It's
not
worth it.
everybody will be able to do that doing the custom GPTs.
But you can
But
help them with that.
oh yeah, for sure. And and it's totally worth it. I mean, if you don't have a copywriter, somebody can write on staff. Like if that's one of your challenges, like yeah, dude, let's make you a custom GPT, and then you're good. You don't have to worry about it.
And I think this is where AI is also opening up markets for marketers, right? Is it's
Mhm.
giving marketers extra things that they can actually work with clients on and actually make it a billable item, which we didn't have this before, which is really kind of
Widgets,
cool.
right?
Yeah, right.
Do you want an AI writer? Do you want an AI clone of yourself that can speak for you? Like I can make you all those widgets. They're useful if used properly.
Now, what do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
Oh, it's just don't let the machine set the strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't let the machine tell you what makes your business special, and
And
don't.
yeah, yeah. And I was going to say, let's let folks know that just because ChatGPT writes something for you in your prompt, you want to make absolutely sure that you've reviewed that, because there are certain key phrases that are used over and over in AI that are dead giveaway to search bots that they know that these are AI phrases. Okay. And we need to find that list. I had that list. I need to find it and do a blog post on that, because these are certain words, certain phrases that are used over and over that you guys should be um, thinking into a little bit.
Yeah. Now another tool
Put
that I
your
really
own
like.
human touch to it.
Yeah, another tool that I really like that I think is really underrated is Grok, the
Oh yeah,
XAI. It is a phenomenal market research tool.
and it's
So
great for making. Okay.
if you're a service provider, get on Grok and ask it questions, because Grok indexes Twitter's information live. It's the only LLM that has access to a major social platform and all its data.
Yep.
I don't know why Meta's not doing that model. I think it's a matter of time before they do that. It's going to be huge. But as of right now, Grok is the only one that will actively index all that data.
Yeah.
You can ask Grok what a business. Let's say you. Well, for me, like I'm a marketer and target medium-sized businesses. What are some of their bigger pain points? Which areas do they struggle with? Well, like, please look at X data and tell me all the stuff that is stressing out business owners. Out of those things, I see kind of which ones are like which ones are related to marketing. I can go down those rabbit holes, and you get a lot of information that helps you create that ideal customer profile. You start to understand your audience's pain points. Grok can tell you, because there's people in there like griping about the things that are just driving them nuts. Grok will, and there's like, oh, they hate CRMs. The great majority of them have them and don't know how to use them properly.
There you go. Bingo. Market. And for me on that search, it was how many businesses actually utilize posting on their Google business profile. And the last time I looked, it was only 2%. Do you think there's a market there for Hurdie Burk to help people optimize their Google business listing?
I know, right? Because a lot of them are posted, like, a lot of them are at least putting something on Facebook. Like, put it on your profile.
Free hack.
Exactly.
so man, so anyhow, Jordan, this is stuff that turns us, this is stuff we could literally sit at a dinner table and probably talk till 1 a.m, because we're all, our heads are just full of information, and there's so much knowledge between our ears for both of us and a lot of other people too. There's more brilliant people out there than myself, I can tell you that. But I will tell you this, that this is probably one of the funnest times I've ever been in marketing, because
Yeah.
it was very methodical before. You either were in search or you weren't, and this is what you did, and this is how you got on Google to get listed, and this is how Google lists all, like everything, like a directory, and this is where you show up in the directory. So our goal is to move you up in the directory by doing A, B, C.
Mhm.
Well, today it's
Yeah.
like give me that football field, baby. Let me write some new plays because this is exactly what's fun about this right now. Are you
Oh
having
yeah.
fun? Are you having
Oh my
fun
God,
with
yeah.
mine? I'm having a blast.
I like that I can't really call myself an expert
No.
because everything is new, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm always very like all these like, you know, new experts of like, they'll come out and talk about like, experts on what is the new sizzle word for AI search engine is AEM or AEO?
Like AIO or
It's not yeah,
AI
yes.
optimization.
Yeah,
AI.
instead of SEO. And it's like,
I
oh,
mean, you know what? I hate the word expert.
yeah.
It's one of those things that's overused. It's always been. I would say that experience matters in the work area we're in, right? But you're right. Expert is just one of those. And here's another one. Here's
Mhm.
another phrase I can't stand. If you ever hear me say it, punch me.
You
Best
heard it live.
practices.
Oh,
Today we're
best
going to show you our
practices.
best practices.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense,
Oh,
but
I
I
mean,
mean, but
and I
that's
have
such a broad term.
and it's a good starting point, but it's definitely not a strategy.
No, it's not.
It's
And
like
even the
it's like
word optimization bothers me a little bit, but that's beside the point.
yeah, this is like yeah, I know, right? And it's like a medium T-shirt, right? It fits or one size fits all. It fits everybody poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and so many things have changed. The state of things is so different. Everybody's telling me how Google leads are drying. You know, in
Well,
it's
yeah, because you're not getting seen. You're not in that directory. You're right. It's like a ghost town when you search for yourself now. Believe me.
yeah. But now all these social platforms are starting to emerge as a valid second party
Yeah.
search space. YouTube has been the second most used search engine for a very long time. And now that Google, I don't know when the official announcement is going to come out that Google is no longer the most used search engine, but when we get there, like we still have YouTube. TikTok is a big one. LinkedIn is a big one. Instagram and Facebook are another one. It's like all these have search bars. They have information there that allow you to save videos, that allow you to create folders, that allow you to follow people. It's interest based and they can save you there. So it's,
Well, yeah. For once, I would say we really are connecting the dots,
yeah.
right? Before we used to say those words, but we weren't really. Facebook didn't really care what YouTube had on it, and YouTube didn't really care what Facebook was doing, and TikTok didn't really care what this was doing. But when you do these LLM searches now, that particular model doesn't care which platform is presenting information on, which I'm doing some deep dive thinking into that, meaning that this search is now really broad, right?
Mhm.
You're getting all sorts of recommendations from all sorts of places. By the
Yeah.
way, I heard an interesting stat the other day uh, that only about 2% of the population clicks on a citation. They're happy, pretty much happy with what they get.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Which
would
I think that's going to pick up, right, over time. I really do, as people get used to it and realize there's other material they can go down a road on and get and see the credit where that came from. But man, Jordan, I mean, YouTube's great, TikTok is great, Facebook's great. Now you can get these kind of results from your LLM by asking
imagine.
it what you want it to present you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And soon enough, we're going to get a choice of how we want that information given to us.
Right.
You
Before,
know?
if you were on Google's platform, on Google Chrome, and you typed in a search, you got Google results.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, one thing that I was talking about earlier today at a 101 is, we had we talked about experts, right? Like the subject matter expert. right now, I think the biggest advantage that you can have, for all businesses, small and medium-sized businesses listening to this, and Fortune 500 businesses, plug your ears. I don't want you to hear this. Trusted advisor is the new subject matter expert. A trusted advisor, it is what you can do to stand out and what you can do to bring value. Because these search engines are getting really smart. There is a race to monetize the LLMs. So there's going to be a net component to it. And if there is, it's going to be a lot harder to spot than a blue link. So there is going to be a level of distrust. Right now, we're trusting the LLMs blindly because it's a shiny new thing. But we know they hallucinate. They know they make stuff up. You can ask it, if I have 4 chickens and I add 2 chickens, how many chickens do I have?
Yeah.
And it's going to get the question wrong. It's going to be like, you have 3 chickens left. Like that is, it could even come back and be like, chickens don't like cucumbers. And be like, what?
God.
So the honeymoon phase will wear off. It's a phenomenal tool, but we are going to want to corroborate the results with a trusted source. And if you are a trusted advisor, then you have the ultimate power, because the LLM might say something, but you are the checks. There's checks and balances. You are the check. Like, is that true? Do you approve? And if you've done your work correctly and established your brand in the right way, then you're a trusted advisor. Then your decision carries as much weight as the LLM does.
I put up on my business support center on Facebook, I put a video up of a guy that I followed quite a while. It talks about the difference between the cool AI, which is the tools we use, right? And then I encourage people to go look up AGI and see the evil side of where this could go. So yes, so you still have to rely on your good, solid research, right? For answers to questions and stuff. But on the other hand, if you're a good small business in a local area, you can put out some pretty good information to attract some customers today. And and your imagination is all that's holding you back.
Yeah,
that didn't used to be true. Imagination didn't matter because you couldn't afford to put your imagination to work.
Yeah. And to double down on that too, right? Like you mentioned how we talked about the whole process. Like, if you're not a writer, speak into your phone. If you're not much of a speaker, write it up and throw it over there to an LLM. Like, getting the knowledge out of you and onto a vessel that is outside of you is so much easier now than it's ever been. Before you had to put it down in writing or type it. And if you had bad handwriting and you're a slow typer, you're pretty stuck. Now, get your voice memos, speak into it. You're good.
Yeah, and you have content.
Yeah, turn on ChatGPT and to put it in voice mode and just have a conversation with it.
So when Jordan built my website, HurdieBurkConsulting.com, by the way, just so I mentioned it, he did an interview with me on his phone. He sat down and had a conversation, talk with me, interests, things I like to do. When he built my website, I think you're going to find when you go to it and visit it that it's very conversational. It gets rid of jargon. It just says, this is what I do. I was doing streaming for streaming was cool kind of stuff. It kind of tells some background, but it intertwines it with what I do. And that's all because he took the time to have a conversation with me on the phone by recording his Q&A with me. So he interviewed me. And then he put together Hurdie Burk. That's the beauty of really working with the business. Okay. That is what separates Jordan as a marketer from, say, 10 other marketers I may know, is because he took an interest in not only just that he knew I knew Google and he knew I knew YouTube, but he wanted to put together a story. He wanted it to come out more like it just wasn't, here's my list of services, buy from me. Get away from that. Everything you know about the past. Yeah. It has to be conversation. It has to be influence. It has to be storytelling. It has to be questions and Q&A in a fun way that gets people information they need. So
Yeah. Talk about the problems you solve. That's
yeah,
easy
yeah,
when talking
and,
about
and how you're going to solve their problems, right? But in a fun way, in a nice way, right?
yeah.
And then realize that as marketers, Jordan hit this on the head, that we're brand new at this. All this AI stuff is keeps evolving faster than we keep up with it, right? But realize that we are at a new level with it too, and we're experimenting with things with clients to see if they work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're telling our client, let's try this. Let's see where it goes. If it doesn't work, so be it. We'll change it. But that hasn't changed because that used to happen in the old days too. If this didn't work, we'll do this.
I know. I remember when Google My Business first came out.
Oh,
like,
Google, it was a listing.
Yeah, Google listings.
And then it was called Google Places or Google My Business. And then it was called Google Business Profile. And now God knows what it's going to be called as soon as, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it just becomes an overview.
Yeah. Or it's going to be like a little talking, like landing page, right? Like you can talk to the business itself.
Would love that.
Yeah.
But if they could make a business listing a conversation piece or include it into an overview, now you have something to work with, right? Now you can build on that. But who knows? I'm guessing. I have no idea. I just know it's important because it's structured data. That's all I know.
Oh,
People ask me all the time. They go, how do you know my Google business listing even gets attention? Well, if you're doing some of the right things, it does. But from the standpoint of how it's structured data is what's important. Phone number, name, type of business, category, services, those things get indexed, right? That's the structured data part. That's all I know.
Yeah, but I mean, there is,
but it's real. It's real.
Yeah. And but it shows up in so many different places too, and that's the part that I think, going back to our AI empowerment for businesses, there is so many places that you can show up.
Yep.
And yes, it is more work. There's no way around that. It is more work. But now you have support, like translating from one to the next to the next. So you can have your Google business and, like your LinkedIn bio, right? And that can become like your website, your about page on your website can easily become the LinkedIn bio, and have an LLM structure it so it fits the LinkedIn formatting.
Right.
Or maybe go the other way around. You have a LinkedIn, but you don't have a website, and you got to do your about page. It can help you with that,
Yeah. I 100% agree, dude. It's awesome. By the way, somebody asked me what tool I like. I like to see a bunch of different AI tools as they come along. And there's this one site called Galaxy.ai where they have compiled every single AI tool on the internet into one place. And it gives you a chance to go look at some of them before you decide to purchase them. Or if it has a monthly fee, it gives you trials on them. So if you want to check out Galaxy AI, it's a good place to go get wet and just play with some stuff without getting in trouble and have some fun with it. So there you go.
And a little bit of news for the peeps as we're winding down. Maybe like a month ago, Perplexity came out with Comet, which is a search engine. It's like Google Chrome, but it's that.
Yep, sure did.
Now, ChatGPT or OpenAI just launched Atlas, which is AI powered search engine.
Yeah.
It's Chrome's competitor. Chrome just launched their Gemini add-on, so now you can browse the internet with Gemini and ask it questions about the website that you land verbally. Like you can talk to a website now.
Yeah. I just, it's added to mine and I've been playing with it and I just hadn't said anything about it yet because it's just too overwhelming. All the stuff that's coming down the pike.
And it's what, like a week old?
Yes.
Yeah. And I should say that is one piece, that's a parting piece of advice that I would leave everybody with this AI overwhelm. Forget about the tool, focus on your goal. Then think about what tool can make it easier. It will filter the AI progress for you. What are you trying to achieve? We're going back to strategy. And then what tools can get you there quicker?
And we can direct you to a lot of cool sources, including ourselves, to help with that if you ever need it. By the way, Jordan and I both feel like because we're limited in our time to market ourselves so much, we kind of rely on the buzz a little bit to bring our awareness and mentions, and it does a good job and keeps us in front of folks and helps with our overall business. Because why do we do the podcast, Jordan? Because keeps us in front of people weekly, keeps our name in mention, keeps us in awareness, keeps us in the front brain of people. And so
and we're
do we care if we have 1 million views?
much.
No. Do we care if we only have 215 subscribers? No. What we care about is 1,500 people see Jordan Hurdie on a monthly basis.
Yeah. And to add a cherry on top too, we have a treasure trove of content.
And Jordan's already working on it. I got the Notebook LM. Oh my God.
Oh, did you finally log in there?
I mean, every single show is transcribed sitting there if I'm going home. And it didn't take that long, I'm sure. But the fact is, we got everything. All we have to do now is create.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I did? And that's a nice little thing. So Notebook LM is a tool that we should probably know, like we both love it. So it should get mentioned. We love Notebook LM.
Yeah.
It is an LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini, but it only indexes whatever you feed it. So whereas ChatGPT indexes the whole internet and sometimes it like just hallucinates quite a bit, you load into Notebook LM specific documents and it'll just review those. You can link it to your
I can pull any
Docs.
YouTube. I can pull any YouTube video URL, move it over to Notebook LM, ask it to summarize that video, then ask it to give me my own workshop outline that becomes mine. It's not their content. It's ideas from the content I rehumanize, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
And then I can create audio, I create video from it, or I can just create maybe a blog from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all I did was take a URL like a TED Talk or something from YouTube and put it over there.
Yeah. I mean, it allows you to index YouTube University and other places too. I mean, you can put in URLs for websites.
You can upload documents. Yeah. So anyhow, I recommend that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, we've been on an hour and 22 minutes. See, I'm telling you, we have some announcements to make real quick.
We do.
So I'm going to let you describe it because I think that's really cool. We're thinking about doing tag team, workshops?
Yep. We're going to have some workshops rolling out. The first one is, we don't have a title yet, but we're going to be covering marketing strategy and AI, adapting to the AI age and leveraging marketing strategy. So you are taking advantage of the progress versus being eaten up by the progress.
And we're actually going to help you build prompts and show you how to build some prompts for your business. So you're going to get a lot of cool stuff during these seminars. They're going to be wrapped around lunch and learn. I already have 2 businesses that are willing to buy the lunches for it. We already have the location when we're ready to pull the date. So we are really close to getting the word out, and just want to let you guys know we're excited about it. It won't be too expensive, which is really cool, but you guys will be you'll be fire hose like we get every day. So it'll be really cool.
It'll be fun. We'll cover content creation, prompts, and a good baseline education on the whole new AI search world, which has turned everything upside down. But trust me, for small businesses, this is a good thing.
All right, man. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today. Jordan, we've been on an hour and a half, which is pretty cool. Time flies, right?
You know what I think we should do before we go?
I think you should go ahead and play it and show everybody.
Welcome to the Mansfield Buzz.
We got a comment. Hold on one sec. Heather, I will be there. Heather Manning says, I'll be there. Well, yes, we're glad you will, because she's both the client of ours, which is really cool. And so that's awesome. So anyhow, guys, next week we have Trinity River inspections. We're going to talk to a home inspector. And Jordan, you're not going to believe his icebreaker. And I'm going to tell you after we get off live air, because you're going to drop out of your chair.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, guys. So we'll see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. with Johnny with Trinity River Inspections, home inspector. He's got some great information. We'll see you on the Buzz next Thursday, 2 o'clock. Y'all have a good day.
Bye, y'all.